That right there is the real poison. Because when you're stupid and you do things like vote against your own self-interests, you become the puppet, pulled by fear, pulled by propaganda, by whatever authority pats you on the head and says, "You're doing a great job, vote for me." I would sooner sit next to a hateful, racist person than a stupid person. At least the racists know who they are. They're gonna spew venom for sure, but there's a twisted kind of honesty to them. You know where you stand with them. You know exactly where the landmines are. With stupid people who vote against their own interests, you never know. They'll smile at you, they'll call you their friend, and they'll gladly set the room on fire with you in it, thinking they're helping. Stupid people are chaos wrapped in flesh. They will never truly know the harm they cause until it's too late. And that right there is the real problem.
And to be fair, for a long time, that attitude kind of worked. They flexed their legal status like a VIP pass to America. But then came Trump, El Jefe del plot twist. Recently, Mr. Make America Great Again dropped a bombshell executive order that revoked their legal status. Yup, just like that. He gave them a clean-cut 30-day ultimatum to pack their bags and head back to Cuba. Let that marinate. The same Cuba they ran from, the one they left behind to build a better life in America. That Cuba. Now they're being told, hey, thanks for coming, time to go home. And honestly, it's giving serious. Now tell me, who wants popcorn? Because this show, it's not over. These FAFO moments are just getting started, and something tells me we're gonna need a bigger bowl. You see, this wasn't just political irony, it was a masterclass in poetic justice. The very man they idolized just hit the trapdoor button, and now they're free-falling through a system they thought they'd gamed. It's like watching someone cheer for a tornado because it's tearing down other people's houses, only for it to turn around and rip the roof off theirs. So the question is, when loyalty backfires this hard, who do you blame? The leader who made promises he never meant to keep, or the follower who ignored every red flag because they thought the target would never be them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm dying to know where you stand on this. And hey, if you love stories that twist, sting, and spill the tea, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to Trend Feed, and turn on notifications because the next one, it's messier than a family group chat during election season.
So the Cubans for Trump. How'd this work out for you? That red wave that went through Florida, you could ride that bitch all the way back to Cuba.
This program now will affect people like Cubans, Haitians, Venezuelans, who had came here once again legally to this country. Now, these immigrants have been here, paying taxes, paying rent to Americans. It's not costing us anything for them to be here, but the removal is going to cost us a lot. Because now imagine that's rent money to landlords that won't get that. These are a lot of businesses in which now will be shut down and shattered, which will hurt our economy. But the one thing that people aren't realizing is these are families. Imagine being in this country legally for the past few years, either having kids going to school, being involved in activities. Now you're ripping away that mom and dad and their kids from their homes, from their schools and businesses, and sending them back to the place they were trying to get away from. That is like the most un-American thing I can imagine.
Messages for the Latinos who voted for Trump, more specifically the Cubanos. See, I told you. Now your asses are going to be sent back to your country. You're going to lose all your businesses, livelihoods, all your friends, all because you thought you were light-skinned enough to go ahead and get a free pass. How does it feel now, huh? To have somebody tell you that you don't belong here. For someone to tell you that even though you got signed work to be here, that they're going to go ahead and revoke it. Crazy, right? And now this is the consequences of your actions because you wanted to be a pick-me. And when you're back in Cuba and you're sitting there wondering what the happened or how things went wrong, remember, you did this. This is your fault. This is your problem that you need to deal with now.
America's on the edge of economic collapse and political chaos, and this man is out here cosplaying African strongmen. How did we get here? But let's go back to Cubans for Trump. These folks were loud. They were proud. They chanted things like, "Yes, Daddy Trump, we're behind you all the way." They cheered on the deportation of other immigrants. They said, "Come legally like we did." Not realizing that Trump had a completely different...
The part that we like to talk about in our homes when no one else is listening, but I'm going to go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. You all think that you are better than every other type of Latino American. Conservative Cuban Americans, MAGA Cuban Americans, think that you are better than every other flavor of Latino American. And now we have proof. You are no different. We are no better than anybody else. No matter how many times you place your vote for Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they are still going to see you as subhuman. And even if you hang your hat on the fact that you came here the right way, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter to him, because if he wants you gone, he's going to find a way to disappear you. My entire childhood was spent being fed the narrative that our family came here the right way, and that everybody else that's complaining about being deported, well, they just need to go back to where they came from, start the process over legally. I don't want to ever hear another Cuban American say some shit like that ever again. I'm gonna laugh in your face. Maybe you all will finally realize that no matter how much you try to blend into white Western European culture, no matter how much you try to pretend that you don't eat ham croquettes for breakfast and that you've never had ajiaco for dinner in your entire life, the problem is that Donald Trump is never going to see you as human.
See, for the longest time, these Cubans have been sitting real pretty in America. And not just average immigrant pretty, no. We're talking upgraded perks, courtesy of the 1966 Cuban Adjustment Act. That law handed Cuban immigrants more privileges than even some born and raised Americans. Green cards? Practically gift-wrapped. Deportation? Highly unlikely. And benefits? Chef's kiss. And what did this create? A whole wave of Cubans who genuinely believed they were better than other immigrant groups, especially those from other Latino countries. Like, sorry, not sorry, we're not the same energy. Different playbook for them. And now they're sweating plasma. Trump turned around and said, appreciate the support. Now, kindly take your Cuban coffee and go. These same folks who thought their legal status was made of titanium are now scrambling for lawyers, plane tickets, and explanations. The regret? Palpable. The irony? Delicious. And the rest of us? We're just sitting back sipping tea going, we warned you. But they didn't listen. They thought being legal made them untouchable. They thought siding with Trump made them honorary members of the club. But surprise. Turns out Trump doesn't care what language you speak, how long you've been here, or how loudly you yell build the wall. He'll still throw you under the bus if it suits his vibe.
I have always said that stupid people are the most dangerous people on this entire planet. I don't trust dumb people. I avoid stupid people like a ticking time bomb with no timer, because you're not sure when they're going to go off. You can guarantee they're going to go off, you just don't know when. Let me be very clear about this. Stupid has nothing to do with diplomas or degrees or jobs. I have met morons with Ivy League paper plastered all over their walls in frames who couldn't navigate a moral choice if you drew it for them on a map. Stupid people walk around through life oblivious to the damage they cause. They're the ones who vote against their own interests.
So,
President Trump, we love you. We will support you all the way to the end. Thank you for everything you've been doing.
We have a message for you, President Trump, from all the way down from the RGV 956. Latinos for Trump here representing. We've been with you since 2016. Co-founded Latinos for Trump. We pray for you, and it's time to what? Finish the wall! 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 Finish the wall!
Idi Amin Dada vibes. You remember him, right? The infamous African dictator who declared himself as life president of Uganda and conqueror of the British Empire, who, in 1972, kicked out thousands of Asians from Uganda like it was just a Tuesday. And now, here's Trump, a man who once bankrupted a casino, a business where people literally hand you money, and he's out here pulling chapters from the dictator's handbook. What a shame for our country. Our president picking inspiration from the countries he once referred to as shithole is a big disgrace. It's wild.
I don't understand. Folks from Cuba that want to avoid an authoritative communistic regime like Castro somehow gravitate to the fucking Republicans. Look at these fucking assholes down here. Look at these flags on this fucking boat. You think that Trump in any way is going to help anyone that's not white? Cubans aren't light enough. To Trump and the people in power, you're nothing but la cucarachas.